Yes, thank you so much. This is a national training of trainers on shared sacred flourishing, shared sacred worldview, and shared sacred flourishing. It actually started as at the regional level. The training was conducted in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, where representatives of various interreligious councils were trained on the new framework. So we felt that at this point that it would be good to listen to your eminence. Thanks.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, dear brothers and sisters. My greeting is deliberate when I say brothers and sisters, recognizing the fact that we all are the children of God. The scripture, um, the Bible, the Holy Bible, in Matthew chapter 5, verse 9, teaches us that Jesus himself said that blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. That is the New International Version. And it is on that premise that I said I was quite intentional, by greeting you as brothers and sisters, because we all are children of God. And I believe that this is what has brought us together, especially in this particular workshop, where we continue to seek ways, common grounds, on which we will continue to engage one another in this dialogue and conversation about how we continue to coexist peacefully, moving far beyond the point of tolerance and having a sense of accommodation and inclusiveness. Um, I have been involved since 2004. I've been very active in NIREC. And 5 years later, from 2009, I became a board member of Africa Council for Religious Leaders. And since then, I've been on that board. Um, I wouldn't have been in NIREC up till now, and up to the point of becoming the co-chair, if I didn't believe in peaceful dialogue. We have, in our last meeting in NIREC, you could hear me speak that and say that, well, even after I finish my tenure as the CAN president, I would like to continue uh, with my work in NIREC as a member, because I didn't get into NIREC because I wanted to be the co-chair. I never knew I would one day become the co-chair of NIREC. But I got involved in NIREC because I really wanted to see how I would play my own little role to make sure that we live in peace. Myself, I have grown up with people of various religious backgrounds, right from school, and people from all other ethnic backgrounds. I knew people from Niger State, people from Benue, people from Kanu, and the rest of those places, right from when I was in primary school. Yet I did not, my primary school was not done in the north. It was in the south and in the southeast. And so we had large community of Northerners who were there with us, and we all grew up, played together, and we didn't know that there was any difference other than during the time of worship, you just walk into your various places of worship. And I can tell you that when I was growing up, I knew how to do the Muslim prayer as a little child, because I would go to the mosque with my fellow children. And I know I could actually do the timing, when you stand up, but it was when we were growing up that people started to show us things to say, because of the activities of the extremists, that begin to show us the differences. And I used to tell people this whenever I go to give peace talk. I said that when there was a crisis in my local community here in Nigeria, in the South, there were chieftaincy issues, and the town was divided into two. And I was the most senior religious leader, and I was called upon to mediate. And one of the things I told them was that, well, my grandmother brought me to this community as a little child. She did not show me my enemies. She showed me my brothers and sisters, my fathers and mothers. And even though my grandmother had gone to be with the Lord, I will continue with what was handed over to me. And so I happen to be the only person that will enter every house in that community because that is the way I see my community. So the way your perspective actually impacts the way you relate with others. And I can tell you that in Nigeria, I have friends, across religious lines and across ethnic lines. I don't have issues with that because we have been living together in that way. And I know that in Nigeria is a multi-religious community, and we have accepted that. Now, and I don't want anybody to put words into my mouth. I don't want people to force me to believe what I don't want to believe. I want to be free, and the way to be free is when you don't take offense for too long, and then you are free. I want to be free. I want to go to bed and I want to sleep well. And that is why I tend to connect somehow with this framework, even though I don't have the details. But the executive secretary shared the flyer, with us and the information about this, which we are still going through. But I see one thing. One thing I see very clearly is the effort being made by people. People are making efforts to see how we can easily do our work as people who are involved in interfaith dialogue. Because sometimes when people go to theological, like Prof that is sitting next to me here, some people that would ordinarily, the simple people will now be lost, but they really want to engage. And I believe that, this particular framework will make the ordinary, the simple, to be able to find his own position and space to engage in interfaith dialogue. And I don't want to believe that, as some people may want to say, that this framework, trivializes certain things. No. Or they make them look too simple. But how do you succeed as a human being? Simplicity is one of the major qualities of good leadership. And so, if this is what will make, if this framework is what will make our work more practical, then so be it. It means that we are advancing without necessarily compromising our theological positions, but it will deepen our understanding of whatever we think we believe in. So as Christians, um, I think that even and even as Muslims and people of faith, the pressure we have now is more from the inside rather from the outside. Because I know, as the co-chair of NIREC, that the Christians and the Muslims are being pressured by some people who are asking, "What are you still doing there?" And people have asked me that question. I said, if I was not convinced, I would not remain here. You understand? And you see, and so I want to encourage you, because that is the major purpose of this visit, to know that what we are doing, even though you are few in number, will go a long way to impact. But it requires perseverance. People like Aja have been on this journey for as long as I have known her. And our dear sister, yes, and Aja, Akonde is coming up now. Started as a very young man, but now I don't know where to place him. But he's still a young man relatively. But I know that there are a lot of younger people that have also joined. But so I just want to encourage you that we are still together in this journey, and by the grace of God, we shall win. not only in Nigeria, but in Africa, in the world, indeed. So we have a common ground already. The only thing we are going to do is to make sure that as we are being trained now to go and train others, that we will do this training, go through this training with every commitment. And at the point of training others, you be sincere in your training. And make sure that you believe in what what you are going to, because you cannot give what you don't have. I keep telling people when I teach pastors, I say, look, if you don't believe in what you are doing, you better leave this class, other than to go out there to deceive others. If I don't believe in the interfaith dialogue, I will not be the chairman of NIREC. Whatever I say in the open is what I practice. And when I live here, if the Sultan is in town, you call me, say, "Where are you?" The way we relate with each other, he knows. I'll just go. He say, "Look, there's two in the house," but that's what I go to eat in his house. All right. And then when I want to go by 11 p.m., he said, "No, where are you going to? Don't sleep early. Stay here." And then and that is the way we have conducted ourselves. And people will come and ask you, "What are you doing with Sultan?" And I say, "It's my brother." And that again for me means a lot, because it is a duty that I have to show other people how to relate with people that are not persons of your own religion.
So I want to begin by saying that my name is Cornelius Afebu Omonokhua. I'm the Executive Secretary of Nigeria Interreligious Council. I'm one of the facilitators. So we'll go around like this, anti-clockwise.
The Executive Secretary, Father Cornelius Omonokhua, who would also like to have an address in form of a remark from the African Council of Religious Leaders. Although we don't have the Secretary General here, but we also have a very powerful person in place of the Secretary General, Mr. Arshad Said.
Good morning once again. Assalamu alaikum. I have no prepared remarks. I just bring greetings of peace from Nairobi, from the African Council of Religious Leaders, from the Religions for Peace International, because this particular program, the Shared Sacred Flourishing, Shared Sacred Worldview for Shared Sacred Flourishing, a framework developed by Regions for Peace. So they're also very quite aware, that this national training is happening, and same as other regional trainings across the globe currently happening. I think last week, or because of this week, we had Europe had their regional training of trainers. We had other countries as well across the globe having that. I'm very grateful to be here. I think this is the third time. Very, very grateful for the hospitality. Just to say a few words with regards to shared sacred flourishing, and to just give you an idea, the Religions for Peace movement over the years, and I know we have Father Cornelius has been here for a while, so as others who have been here for a very long time and understand the Religions for Peace movement. It has had guiding frameworks, in each cycle of its assemblies. So, all the way since 19th, I think 1950s and all the case. So every cycle, every 5 years, they hold a whole assembly, and then they adapt a guiding framework for the next 5 years and part of the strategic plan. Yeah. So, for example, the last guiding framework was the shared well-being, concept. there was the welcoming the stranger concept. Yeah, so the shared sacred worldview for a shared sacred flourishing is going to be the guiding framework for the for the Religions for Peace movement. And when I say the Religions for Peace movement, it's the Religions for Peace family. So all the way from the global, regional, the national, and even at the local levels. Yeah, and it is no further from what you already or religious leaders are already doing, but it is a concept that it to help us bring us back to who we are. So it's not a new concept totally. Yeah, it's also going to be the overarching theme next year. The Religions for Peace International is going to also hold its World Assembly, I think, in December. So it's going to be the overarching theme also moving forward for the next 10 years. As Abu Bakr and Father mentioned, we had a regional training of trainers in Nairobi. We chose 5 countries in Africa, as a pilot. I mean, for the beginning of this, the inception of this initiative. And it was a very deliberate, deliberate choosing of these 5 countries, including Nigeria, because we felt Nigeria is strategically placed. It's one of the strongest IRCs in the region, and we thank Father Cornelius for really being, the captain, captaining the ship of NIREC over the years, and we believe that, from Nigeria, and also being the home of the West African Intelligence Council, that it could be the point of sharing it further and sharing it forward, and perhaps even moving forward when we get more support, other countries may benefit from what Nigeria is going to benefit. So I don't want to say much. I know there's a lot we are going to be discussing, and I hope that we have an interactive session today and tomorrow. It's going to be intense, but we'll try to make it as simple as possible for you to understand. Yeah, but feel free and be open, and let's all learn, because as much as we will be sharing this, the learning will be from amongst yourselves. So I hope that we will have an engagement, a very interactive engagement the next few days. Thank you so much, Abubakar.
Please, can we give him a very resounding sound of applause? Thank you very much, Mr. Arshad. We tell you, Karibu Nigeria and Asante Sana. So without further ado, we'll be moving to the next item on the agenda, which is actually welcoming ourselves as well as setting the ground rules. Although we've done our introduction, but one other thing we need to take 1 minute to do is we'll be passing around this, what did you call it, sticky note. Just take one. What you do is just write your name and one unique thing about you, then we'll paste it on the board there. So anybody that wants to know what is unique about you can always go there to consult. So I'll pass this around. Just take one and pass it around. Oh, even give Mr. Arshad. Yes. So just your name and one unique thing about you, and let's put it on the wall there. So while we are doing that, we will be here for the next couple of days, that is today and tomorrow. So it's very important to have some ground rules that will guide our organization, our being here.
So that is by way of introduction. And why we are here actually is the magnanimity of all of us, especially the Africa Council of Religious Leaders. Arshad is here for the fourth time. This should be the fourth or third. The third time. And is well known to us. And I was introducing you as Alhaji today. No. What is it? Alhaji is just, okay, a Malam. I was invited as, because she's a very committed Muslim. That is why I describe you with all those adjectives. They actually sponsored us to Kenya. Myself, Akande, Abubakar. Don't worry if I don't call your name fully. Let me be addressing you as if you are my son. Then and Mary, we went to Kenya to study this. And the intention is training of trainers, that when they train us, we come back to train our people here. But we were hoping that September, we are meeting, NIREC meeting will be meeting, that they will, like Rosilla came the other day, so Arshad will come too, do a goodwill message on behalf of ACRL, that's Africa Council of Religious Leaders. Then we'll do a session. But they said no, that they are in a hurry. So it's actually coming from Sierra Leone. So they went to Sierra Leone and all that. So what we are doing here today, before we enter this program proper, is that we want to train our youth and our women. Why is it that there are no emirs here? Why are there no bishops here? Because I have to bring people that I can flog. Not with a cane, no. Not, and those who can flog me. You know, not when I use flog, it's in a loose term. What I mean is people I can call on. Like now, in the night, even if it is 3 a.m., I have an emergency, I can call Aja, I can call Aja, I can call Venerable, I can call Akande, but I cannot call Sultan. I cannot call Khan President. I cannot call the Sheikh of Borno. I cannot call all those big people, you know what I mean? Then if there is really serious fire on the mountain, I will allow the women to stay at home. I will send Akande and Venerable to the battlefield to go and tell the youth that this is not the right way. You know, like I said, like this my brand new son, Adam. I call him my son. I used to tell us that Adam. I said, Adam, you are a young man, a youth, and a fool man. Can't you go to Savisa Forest and tell those guys that there is something else you can do with your brain? He said, Father, I wish you can fund me to do that. But even if I can fund you, I will even send you that kind of message because I value your life, your life. So the point I'm trying to make is that I just feel that we can take this message to the grassroots. We can take this message to the grassroots. That is why we are concentrating on the youth and the women. You know, coincidentally, the women who are here, they are powerful officers in the Women of Faith Network. And among the youth, we have the two co-chair. You know, the two co-chair are generated from the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs and Christian Association of Nigeria, whereas the Women of Faith are generated from the WOWICAN, that is a Women Wing of Christian Association of Nigeria, and Form 1, Federation of Muslim Women. So all you see here is the brand new admiral, the former admiral, and all the admirals is like they were created on Monday after God has rested. So they have been very wonderful, all the youth. So this is where we are today, and this is why we are here to get this training done, you know. And during the group work, this thing is not lecturing, honestly. It's not lecturing. It's going to be more of you contributing to sacred world view and sacred flourishing. So we have prepared the offices where the groups will meet. So group 1 will be in Ruben's office, group 2 will be in Mary's office, and group 3 may be here or anywhere you choose. So that be done, I will now hand over to the facilitator for the next few minutes of today.
So without further ado, we'll be moving straight into the first module, which is grounding, that is the sacred as our foundation. I think Mr. Arshad will introduce us to the concept. While Father Cornelius will take the module on sacred. Please give me the.
Right in, you know, I'll give you a minute to write that, yeah? So open a new page, write your roles, your position, your titles, yeah? Sorry? No, don't worry. Yeah. Just write, yeah. As many as possible, but you have 1 minute. So you could be, you know, a director, you could be an imam, you could be a priest, you could be, you know, a women leader, youth leader. I mean, write as many as possible in 1 minute, yeah? I know we have so many titles, so 1 minute is not enough, but it's fine. Yeah. However small that title is, or role or position, just write it. Yeah. Okay. So once you're done, please just remove it. Just pluck it out and share it with me. Yeah. So just give it to me. I'll pick them up for you. Yeah. Okay. So once you're done, just give it to me. Different capacities, you're leaders in your own regard, isn't it? But for the purpose of this training, I will keep this for you and I will return it for you when we end the training. Is that okay? I just want you to be you, not in your own titles and positions and okay? Is that is fine, yeah? Just assume it's here, okay? Just assume it's here because yeah, I need us to be open-minded. I need us to be, to be able to understand what we're going to discuss. Yeah. So if you haven't shared with me, opinion is the word flourishing. In your own opinion, is that?
Thank you very much for the opportunity. In my own opinion, I wouldn't say the word is flourishing.
Okay.
Because of some
Uh-huh.
challenges
Yes.
that are prevailing across the globe.
Across the globe. For instance.
Some peculiar to one sector and some general.
Uh-huh.
For example,
yes.
in our context,
yeah.
insecurity
yes.
prevents children from going to school.
Yes.
Kidnapping, when they are released, they become too traumatized.
Okay.
And close the chapter
of education. So it's not flourishing because of that. Okay.
Thank you. I would say it depends on how we want to say it.
Uh-huh.
If we look at the world of technology,
Uh-huh.
AI, we see that things are moving forward.
Uh-huh.
But also look at this security as Nadia has said, look at what is happening in Gaza, in Ukraine, Russia, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of challenges that are also happening. So although there are some areas where there is development, there are still a lot of areas where we can't really say.
Okay. Is that flourishing? Yes. Just tell him that, yeah.
The world could be said to be flourishing in some respects. But as far as the dignity of the woman, preserving the dignity of the woman
is concerned,
we are losing out. Every woman, every girl is now target for gender-based
violence, yeah.
And this is not restricted to townships.
Yeah.
Even in rural communities, this is happening.
Okay.
It's not restricted to the educated. The uneducated are also, affected. So if we are to have a world view of where does the woman stand?
Yes.
The woman who nurtures future generations. The woman who passes values, to the children. They grow up, they also, carry on. This woman is being severely denigrated, and that, in my mind, does not lead to any form of
flourishing. Okay, no problem. All responses are fine. So next slide, please. Okay, fine. So when you look at these images, again, is the world flourishing? Yeah. Is the world flourishing?
Based on these videos.
The question you said is the world.
Yes.
Okay.
No. I mean, whatever is so you can. All responses are okay. Yeah.
The Merriam-Webster dictionary. Let me give some.
You don't have to go to the dictionary. What do you think?
No, based on the based on the definition.
Okay, you have 20 seconds. Yeah.
One.
Yes.
To grow luxuriantly.
Yeah.
That's one.
To grow?
To grow luxuriantly.
Luxuriantly.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one is to achieve success.
Okay.
That's the definition.
Okay.
Then the other definition is to reach a height of development.
Yeah.
Influence. So, based on these three definitions right now, I
Mm-hmm.
would say
Yeah.
some parts of the world are flourishing and some parts are not.
And not.
Yes.
So you are. It's this or this, yeah. Okay. Who else? So when you look at this, is
This video.
yeah. When you look at that, yeah,
Images.
is the world
If we're to use these images, I think the world is not flourishing.
okay?
If it's like this.
Okay.
Now, if we're not looking at
There
this,
is images, okay?
then I think
The world is flourishing.
world is flourishing.
Why?
What we're experiencing is there are the challenges that comes with them.
Mm-hmm.
For everything that flourishes, there's always challenges.
Yes.
So I think what we're experiencing right now is the challenges that comes with that flourishment.
Yes.
Just like you said, some parts are flourishing.
Yeah.
Yes. But those parts still have challenges.
Yes.
So I just think the world is flourishing.
Yeah.
However, but there are some challenges that's coming with the flourishing. So
Yeah.
the flourishment is not coming out because of the excessive challenges.
Of the excessive challenges.
Yes.
Okay. So in on one end,
The world is not flourishing.
so the world is not flourishing, but the world is flourishing. So if I ask, and she mentioned, yeah, so technology has improved, true or false? So is it flourishing? Okay. So is the world flourishing with that? So it's okay. Just a minute. So with technology improving, the world is not flourishing.
It's flourishing.
Okay. So with research,
But human dignity is going down.
no problem.
Challenges.
Father, you want to say something?
Yes.
Yes.
Because, see, clarification of terms are very important.
Yes.
Every
Yes. Yes.
flourishing
Yes.
is dictionary video of flourishing.
Exactly.
And we are talking in a context,
Yes.
sacred.
No, we'll come there. We'll come there. Yeah.
Say it's the word flourishing.
Yes.
Now, let us, when we look at the word, let us assume that we have a forest.
Yes.
In this forest, there's a lot of green.
Yes.
The animals are there, like in Kenya. But these animals are eating human beings.
Yes.
I would say that the forest is flourishing.
Yes.
You get what I mean?
Yes.
So it depends on which area of flourishing we are talking about.
Yes.
So when we say it's a word flourishing, it can be ambiguous.
Yes.
Very,
Yes.
It can be very, very ambiguous.
Yes.
Like now, we are here now. Look at this city arrangement. Christian, Muslim, Christian, Muslim, Muslim. Now, we can say religiously,
Yeah.
in this room we are flourishing.
Yes.
What of the places
Yes.
where Christians and Muslims are fighting?
Are fighting. No
We say
problem.
they are flourishing.
Understood.
So
Yeah.
when we look at the world globally,
Yes.
then yesterday or Tuesday, when Sister was moderating the webinar,
Yeah.
we were so excited that the presenter, that is Professor Gabler,
Yeah.
was able to give data
Yeah.
of people who are living in loneliness.
Yes. Project
and
for me this.
people who are
Yeah.
isolated.
Yes.
So for us to answer this question adequately,
Yes.
we need some kind of data.
Understood. No problem. Yeah. And we'll get there.
Just in context.
To put into context, no problem. You wanted to say something before proceed. It's the same thing, yeah. So we can argue. We can argue. It's depending on what it is, yeah. Depending on your view, isn't it? So the question I wanted to ask as well. I mean, you saw those images, yeah. You saw those images of, chaos and problems and challenges, isn't it? And if you talk about challenges, we can go into so many challenges. Now, I'm going to ask a question. So when you see this image, what do you see? No. We are away from flourishing. It doesn't mean you have to talk about flourishing now. I mean, me, I see a tree, so I don't. So wait, slowly. So okay. So who? Okay, a fruitful tree. Okay, fruitful tree. Who else? Okay, which fruits? Mango. Yeah, okay. Who else? Yes, Ruben. Well-nourished tree, okay. So what do you see when you see this tree? Oh, not tree, just, yeah. You see the landscape, okay. Okay.
Let me.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
On close introspection, you see that the fruits on that tree
Yes.
are actually overripe or decayed.
They're overripe
or decayed.
Decayed.
Yes.
How do you know that?
If you look at the coloration of the, except it's a different breed of fruit. What I can say is that there's something that's going on.
So from a farmer's perspective, you may see, the differences.
Yes.
Okay. Some are ripe, some are okay.
That's why I'm saying.
I can see
A
greedy tree.
greedy.
Yes.
Why? Because it has so much. It has a lot.
Look at the environment.
Okay. Father, you wanted to say something?
The tree is not flourishing because there are no other trees and the ground is not.
Okay.
Some parts are receiving sunlight. Some parts are.
It's lonely.
But it's doing well.
It's going well, but it's lonely.
So let's raise our hands if you want to talk.
I said some parts are receiving sunlight.
Sunlight, some parts are not. You want to say?
Also say a beautiful sky.
Beautiful sky. Okay. Now, so I want to ask a question. Yeah. From if you were to wear the hat of a business person, what would you say? If you were to wear the hat of a business entrepreneur, yeah? Sorry. If you are to wear the hat of an entrepreneur, so what would you see?
Based on this tree.
Yes, yeah. If I'm a businessman, so what will I see?
A bag of mango.
A bag of mangoes you can sell, Yes, money, yeah?
Mango juice.
Mango juice. You can package it to mango juice. Wood for firewood. Yeah, exactly. Isn't it? If you're a scientist, what will you see?
Yeah.
A scientist.
The scientist. The scientist.
You see herbs. Exactly. Exactly. If you're a child, what will you see? A child.
The fruit and
The playground. If you're a politician, what will you see? If you're a politician. If you're a politician, what will you see? An entrepreneur mind. Okay. Abakar, next slide, please. So are we safe to say the tree has not changed? True or false?
Yes. Our view.
It's our view and our different what? Perspectives. True or false? Isn't it? The tree has not changed. Yeah? A company may see, this is a business logging opportunity, to sell logs. Or as you say, to buy a bag of mangoes and go and sell, juice, yeah? A hungry family will see food or firewood. A scientist, will see an ecosystem, perhaps. A religious leader may see this. In Kenya, we have this community coming, the Mugumo tree. What the significance for the Kikuyus? There's a tribe for Kikuyus. Mugumo tree is a very sacred tree. Yes, you can't cut it. So it's a very sacred tree. So from their perspective, they may look at it from, with a different view, isn't it? But the tree has not changed. So that is the first concept. Our world views could be different. It's like looking, if all of us were wearing glasses, mine was red, yours was yellow, the other one was blue, the other one was green. And I put a bottle of water, and you tell me, oh, no, this juice is red. The other one tells me the juice is yellow. Or the water is yellow. The other one tells me the water is green. But it has not changed, it's the same. Yeah? So the concept that I want to bring across is the concept of the worldview. Yeah? Just like I was asking you about flourishing, is that flourishing? It depends on your own world view, isn't it? If you consume the media and the media keep showing conflict 247, you will always believe that the world is in conflict. True or false? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So now I want us to go into what actually sacred means. So if you hear the word sacred, what comes to mind generally? Yeah? If you hear the word sacred, what comes to mind? And just write it on your notebook. When you just hear the word sacred, what comes to mind? What comes to mind? Sacred. I mean, sacred could mean anything. When you hear the word sacred, what do you think it means? Because remember, as we said, this is a national TOT. So even as you go and share this further, you need to be able to really know and understand what it actually means. You know, not just know the definition. Yeah, well, what does it actually mean? So, okay, you want to try, please? So okay, sacred. Yeah, holiness. Yeah. Who else? Sorry. Divine. Okay. Unique. Tradition. Ruben. Revered. Worthy of great respect. Yeah. If you hear sacred, you know something is sacred.
Religious.
Religious.
Purity.
Purity. Yes. Yeah? Culture. I hope I'm getting the spelling correct. I hope that's the spelling. Yeah. Valued. Sacred.
Ritual.
Ritual. Okay. Thank you. Ritual. Shrines. Sanctity. Yeah. You talked about purity. Yeah. Okay. I mean, you can see this list keeps going. Yeah. Scriptures. If I was a 10-year-old child and I'm learning from you, yeah, and I've written all this, so what will I pick and really imagine what sacred could be? Yes, I mean, just make me understand, yeah. What could I pick? God, godly. So everything else is not really. Everything else is not as does not really describe. Is ungodly. You want to say something? Yeah. Is it culture? Is it purity? Is it holiness? Yeah. Not to be violated. Yeah. Yeah. Not to be desecrated. There is no single word or symbol that can fully describe the sacred. Yeah. There is no single word there's no single word or symbol. Even symbol can call it sacred. Now, previous slide, please. Yeah. So again, so each of our faith and tradition recognize that the ultimate reality gives meaning, purpose, and direction to life. So this is what the sacred means. When you're talking about the sacred, you're not talking about religion it's only. When you're talking about the sacred, you're not talking about your own tradition only or faith, isn't it? The sacred, from my point of view, and someone mentioned from the point of view, isn't it, is how I connect or how I understand the ultimate reality in my own language, in my own perspective. Yeah? And let me just give an example. Yeah? We know of sacred stories. Who knows what sacred stories are? Yeah? I know we are all people of faith. We have so much knowledge. Yeah? So what are sacred stories? An example of a sacred story. Let me give an example from a Muslim perspective. the way came to being, that Allah created Adam and all the and the yes, yeah, that is a sacred story. It what gives meaning to life, isn't it? So our sacred stories differ, true or false? True, isn't it? Of our understanding of who the supreme or ultimate being is. But then, why am I not saying sacred is God? Why? Who can try? Why? Why are we not saying that sacred is? We're not saying God is not sacred. No. We are saying why do we say? And again, I went and said no single word or symbol can describe sacred. Okay? So why not just say, sacred is God. We are people of faith. We've been, for years, come on. Sacred is simply God. On concept, you can say just God. We don't have to, to me it could be Allah. Yeah? To the Christian could be different. To the Buddhist could be different. To the Hindu can be different, isn't it? But then, so how do we find that? And I like what you mentioned, because when you are talking about the sacred, we take into cognizance, yeah? And I want to give an example. I know sister is here. In Kenya, near office actually, there's a whole open land, yeah? And oftenly when I pass through, I see people by the trees praying to the tree. I don't know if you have such people yeah? They just pray to anything, If you go to India, the cow is sacred. Isn't it? If you'll do this in India, they'll say, no, the cow, we'll ride the cow here. True. Isn't it? So they have their own understanding and interpretation of the ultimate reality, how life came to be. I know, and in tradition, and my sister is here, the Kikuyus, if you go to the cultural, the belief and all that, how it came into existence, it's very different. You understand? So why sacred? Why using the word sacred? Is that we are saying we are not altering the meaning or the language of what every faith or tradition believes in. No. And that's why here you say every religious tradition has its own language for expressing this particular reality. It's very important to understand what sacred means. Yeah, language may differ, but each tradition affirms that life has transcendent origin and meaning beyond material existence. And I really want you to ask as many questions and be so strict on me if you feel there's something bad with regards to this. Because let me give an example. Whenever at African Council of Religious Leaders, whenever we recruit, yeah, and we have someone join us, normally during the interview process, at the end of the interfaith process, we usually tell them, okay, are you actually aware that the African Council of Religious Leaders, one of their key members is the Africa traditional beliefs? Do you know what the Africa traditional beliefs is? They say, oh, yeah, it's just traditional beliefs. And I say, oh, so the people in your village that do, are doing the voodoo or witchcraft, you will call them like that. So we actually are our members. So what is your standing on that? So will you respect those opinions? We usually ask that question deliberately because we understand their traditional beliefs, their belief in the sacred and the ultimate reality is very different. I'm happy that Father has come, because I know Father, from a theological perspective, I was waiting for you to touch on the sacred and the meaning of sacred, so that we can also give grounding at least. But again, I don't know if it's starting to make sense when we talk about sacred. Before we continue, I was just in Sierra Leone and we were doing the TOT. So whenever there was no responses, this is what I will do. So please take your notebook and open a new page. Please take your notebook and open a new page. As we wait for Father to settle down, just open your notebook and open a new page. Yeah? So we are going to be artists. I saw one of the comments, someone said, one unique thing about me, I'm an artist. I hope the artist is in the room. So I want you to draw something, and I'm going to tell you what you're going to draw. The only challenge is that you have 10 seconds to draw that particular thing. Right at the bottom, your beautiful name. You're going to be artists, So you have to be proud of your work, isn't it? Yes. Yes. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, in 10 seconds, I want you to draw a chicken. 10, 9, a chicken, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Please don't draw a cat or anything else, just a chicken. 3, 2, oh, not a snake, a chicken. Yes. 1 and stop. Stop. Because you're very proud, please show your neighbor the beautiful drawing. How a beautiful artist you are. What is this? No. You have to see this. This is a chicken. You have to believe. I don't know which community has this. Yes? A chicken has 4 legs. What is this? What is this? It's a chick. What is that? Oh no. Open the opposite page, the other side, or find space. I mean, this is your portrait, yeah? This is your canvas. This is your canvas, yeah? And you have to be very proud of it. So now, find space, yeah? In the same page or the other page, yeah? This is very actually more simpler. You know, it's more simpler. No. You just find space, or some say they are going to draw a chick, very small. So you have a lot of space. You have a lot of space. Okay, ready? Yeah. You still have your name written down there, yeah? Okay. In 10 seconds, are you ready? I want you to draw a camel. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, not a hill, a camel. 4, 3, some people are drawing landscapes. 2, 1, and stop. No, this is a horse. Horse. I want you to see the kind of camels that you love. Oh my dear. These are tortoise. You guys are artists. Oh, no. Yes. What is? No. Oh, there you've tried. No. Where is it? Please pay attention. I want you to notice this is a camel. This is a camel. Okay. For the next 2 days, you're going to be artists, I told you. So we'll stop there for now, yeah? But please, these are your portraits. I hope your kids will be proud of you when you go home. Yeah? So, Father, are you... Okay, so let's have Father to just share with us, go deeper into the sacred, and then we'll proceed, yeah?
In a particular village. And this particular village happened to be the maternal home of these triplets. And these triplets were warriors. And it was an abomination to find your maternal home, because our people believe that the world cannot exist without a woman. That is why God in Urobo is called Tamara. That means the woman, the God that can do what a woman can do. And of course, in our Christian religion, there is a history of a woman who gave birth without meeting a man. And that is Mary and Maria in the Quran. And of course, the Quran accepts that too. So now, what now happened? Because these people, this triplet, they have what they call egba. It is made from the elephant tusk. The elephant is a symbol of strength and a symbol of flourishing. So these children decided that they will not go. But the last born, Irua, who is our father, said he will go for the war. And they sang to him, Irua ye, ukpaleka kwa fuwo, Irua o, ukpaleka kwa fuwo. You don't fight your maternal home. Eventually, the long and short of the story, Irua went to attack the maternal home. He thought he had conquered. Then, because he had Egba on him. So as he was coming, this story is in my book. That is on my book on eschatology. The books are here if you want to buy anyway. If you don't have money, I can give you. Anyhow, leave that thing. So eventually, a very little weakly shot an arrow at Irua. And Irua started swelling. And it was an abomination. If you die while you got swollen, you cannot be buried properly. You are thrown into the forest. So they now came home. The elders put their head together. How can an arrow pierce a man with Egba on him? So they now said, yes. This is a sign that there is something bigger than Egba. That is why in Esako, the sacred is called Osinonegba. In other words, Osinegba is the sacred, that powerful being that is stronger than Egba, the elephant, than anything. And that is our North African, Esako concept of the sacred, that which is bigger than the elephant, that which is stronger than the elephant, and so on and so forth. So now you now go. So, but you can still ask this question: what does God mean to each partner in dialogue? Partner in dialogue, by way of clarification of terms, is we here who are talking together. And I can boast to say, all of here, we are partners in dialogue because we can tell each other some sacred truth. Like Aja can post something on NIREC public webinar, say Aja, this one you post now, what idea as it get to? In fact, there are times that Aja, without my permission, will even delete because he knows that I will agree that this thing will cause trouble. So we get it out. You get what I mean now? So the idea of the sacred, first of all, we have the vertical, that is the relationship between humanity and God, and we have the vertical, which is the relationship between human beings to human beings. But the vertical relationship cannot be complete and cannot be perfect if the horizontal is not in order. And so, what does God mean to each partner in dialogue? That is the God affirming Christianity different from the God affirming Judaism? Islam and traditional religions. Is the real concept of God the same for Catholics, Protestants, evangelicals, and every Pentecostal ministry? Here, let me say something. I asked this question to somebody who gave it. In my own place, I don't know how many of you know Auchi here. Is there anybody who know Auchi here? Is there anybody who know Jetu? Jetu? You know Jetu? So something happened in Jetu. It was on a Sunday. Dr. Sumaya is like, you don't know Jetu. Let me describe it for you. Because I can see that you are asking, where is Jetu? You know Auchi? Have you been to Auchi? If you are going from Auchi to Agenebode, the first place you meet is Jetu. You will see Our Lady of Fatima College. That is my alma mater, the school I went to. So, do I call them bandits or terrorists? Okay, gunmen. Sometimes, this one, no, we are not unknown gunmen. They were known gunmen. So, these gunmen went into this church and opened fire. This thing happened, I think, about a year or two ago. So, instead of the worshippers to run away, they closed the doors, and they were able to overpower them with their guns and seize their guns. They took them to the police station. Who sent them? Another pastor from another church to go and kill the other pastor, Pentecostal pastor in another church. They were not Muslims. They all allegedly claimed to be Christians. Are you getting what I mean? So they now ask the pastor that sent them, why? He said because he's collecting their members and that he's running his church down. Now, you can imagine if they did not take time to do this. Why did one pastor attack the other pastor? Is it because of God? Is it because he's rushing these people to heaven, whereas me, I want to rush them to heaven? Was that a religious problem? It was not a religious problem. It was a commercial problem, a financial problem. And if we see this in this angle, we will be able to identify that a lot of the banditry we hear about has nothing to do with religion. It's about money. So now, the question is, the God that this pastor was attacked, the pastor that was attacked, the God that he's serving, and the pastor who sent gunmen to go and attack, are they worshiping the same God? That's a big question. Are they worshiping the same God? If you ask me, they are not worshiping the same God. Because the God that is the sacred cannot allow that thing to happen. The one that sent the bandit was worshiping himself. He placed himself as God, as the God. You know, we have the theory of anyway, let him come in. So you have Deus Otiosus and Deus Absconditus. That is East African philosophy. Listen to this if I'm lying. What is Deus Otiosus? Deus Otiosus is the God who created us and look at us. Deus Absconditus is the God who made us and ran away and abandoned us. So to counteract Deus Otiosus and Deus Absconditus, then the Tanzania people in East Africa had to invent the theory of Ubuntu and Ujamaa. I am because you are because you are. Then in the tradition of the Plateau people, the Jos people, at least I'm saying this authoritatively, I heard it from Kagama, who was their archbishop. He said, among the Plateaus, when you wake up in the morning, you look at your neighbor's eyes. They say, what do you see? You see your own image. That means this person can serve as sacred to you. So I've talked about two sacred phenomena now. The divine sacred and the human sacred. So God is one. Lie, healer, lying. Abi? But this God, the way our perception about God, the way we experience God or express God is different. So the concept of God, again another question, is the concept of God the same for all the sects in Islam? The Sunnites, the Harajites, the Ibadiyya, the Shiite, the Ismailiyya, the Sufis, the Wahhabiyya, Muslim Brotherhood, Ahmadiyya. Now, among the Christians, the Christian Association of Nigeria, it's not every denomination that is a member of CAN. Just as in the Nigeria Supreme Council, where Akande? Is Akande? The Shiites, are they among you? Shiites, are they recognized in the Supreme Council?
Of course.
Okay. I didn't want to make mistake because I had a problem when I interviewed the Shiites during the Shiites, they were trying to pull down our gate here in the Federal Secretariat. And I happened to know one of them in Cardinal Nayiko Foundation when I was giving lecture.
The correction, I think the function of the Shiite.
Don't worry, I will come to that. So when they were now trying to pull down because I was a Vatican delegate to dialogue with the Terrans, the Shiite in Iran. So I called this guy and I interviewed him and I told him I was going to make it public. But later I was queried that I was supposed to have taken permission before I did that. But if I had to wait for that, then they would burn down this place. But coincidentally, that same week, because one of the top ranking officials was killed by these same people. So then the Esunupe now said, "Oh, Father, I think we should allow you to dialogue with them." The according the Shio of Borno too, at the Sultan, I accepted what they said. Now the point is the way the God that the Shiites are worshiping, is it the same the God that the Sunnis are worshiping? It's the same God, but their concept about this God is different. You get it? So in the concept of the sacred, the same for all is the concept of the sacred the same for all religions? That is a big question. Now, you have what we call the concept of God, wrong concept of God. Saul, in the Bible, thought that he was doing God's work by persecuting and killing Christians until I ask how many minutes I have. I say, make I dey talk. Now you are giving me time. Okay, say it's remaining 10 minutes. Even the remaining 10 minutes is too much. I for not finish. Now you say make I dey talk and I can talk till tomorrow. You know I can talk till tomorrow if I want to. So now, this Saul, when he now encountered Jesus on the road to Damascus, he now knew that the God he thought he was fighting for was not the correct God. That it was the God of his mental imagination. Then the founder of the Wahhabi Islamic sect, that is Abdul Wahhab, introduced the war cry of the Wahhabis. He said, "Kill and strangle all infidels who give companions to Allah." On the day of battle, he gave each soldier a letter addressed to the treasurer of paradise. It was enclosed in a bag which the warrior suspended from his neck. The soldier believed that by dying in battle, he would go straight to paradise without being examined by the angels Muka and Naki. Many Iranian Wahhabis still believe in this teaching today. So now, in Judaism, they settle their belief in one covenantal God. Sacredness is found in time, that is the Shabbat. Christianity, of course, the Trinitarian God. Islam emphasizes the Tawhid, the indivisible oneness of God, Allah. The ultimate sacred reality is God himself. This sacredness extends to the Quran, the literal word of God. So the Arabic language and sacred places like the Kaaba in Mecca. So Hinduism, of course, features both monotheism and polytheistic expressions. The Buddhism, they have their own concept of God. So I've already talked about indigenous religions. Then I now talk about the global perspective. Sacredness is often found in interconnectedness. Mountains, forests, rivers, animals, and ancestral spirits are all viewed as possessing sacred life force or spiritual essence. Rites and ceremonies are performed to maintain harmony with these natural and spiritual realms. So we have the sociological perspective that talk about, like Emil Durkheim, who suggests that the sacred represent society. You know, when I was the secretary of the Catholic Youth, we made a verse, we say, man is God to man. Because there are times the human person can really serve as if God has sent you as a message. So we can know about God, the sacred, without knowing him. We have all the theological books, but the question is, have you ever encountered God? Have you seen God is in your neighbor? And so on, so on. So this knowing God is relational. Our approach to people, the outcome is your transformation, mental reengineering, change of value from negative to the positive. I think so. We take example of St. Teresa of Lisieux, who said that prayer is not about reciting complex, but it's an encounter with God. The same with St. Dominic, who said that even when you are walking, you can encounter God through your neighbor. So I think that is okay for now.
Thank you. Good morning. Good afternoon, I guess. Afternoon. Yes, Arshad, I think this is your first time in Nigeria. Oh, wow. Yes, I didn't quite come in time. Yes, because so I'm really happy we're beginning to digress. Father is still coming from that up, he's not around, because the way we really want to do this is to break it down in such a way that even a baby in the womb will understand. That is what we are talking about in sacred shared flourishing. We just signed an MOU with Abu Dhabi Peace Forum in Mauritius. I think that was about 2 weeks ago. So to hold this assembly, which by God's grace will take place in December next year. We still have more than 1 year to prepare for it. In Abu Dhabi, by God's special grace. And the preparation for this big 11th World Assembly is what we are doing now. What we are doing now is the preparation for that big assembly. And that big assembly we are going to attend, which is going to bring over 1,000 participants across the world. We have already adopted through the APC, Assembly Preparatory Committee, which I belong to, adopted this topic, the sacred shared flourishing, to be taken to all the continents of the world so that people will understand, so that people will not think that it is something abstract. We're not talking about abstract. We're talking about how we will live together, how we want to live together, how I will look at you and respect you and work together with you because of that divine being, because of that almighty God, because of that creator that is bigger than you and me. How do we live together? How do we prosper? How do we just, move above, the ordinary common thing and begin to flourish in goodness? And begin to flourish in goodness. That is just the essence of that topic. Because look at what is happening today in the world. War all over the place. Conflict all over the place. Everybody is weaponizing war now. See our Trump, even our Pope recently, wrote something on that. How do we get above this? How do we begin to go beyond just talking as we are talking here now? How do we live it? How does that, I like so much the motto, the logo of the Ufuk Dialogue Center, which says, create a room, reserve a room for everyone in your heart. That's just about sacred shared flourishing. Have respect for everyone. Whatever you think that affects you, whatever you think that you don't like, whatever you think that infringes on your rights, is exactly infringing on somebody's rights. And if that is the case, we shouldn't not only be part of it, but we should try to see how we can recreate the kind of society that is accommodative, that is inclusive, that sees everybody as an important segment of moving forward. So we are not just talking about the worldview here. You may have your worldview, I have my worldview. But what we are talking, how does your worldview, how does my worldview contribute to flourishing? Contribute to the flourishing of humanity? That is the essence of that topic. That is the essence. I said earlier when Father wasn't here, that Father is coming from up, down. He will still break it. Arshad will still break it, for us, so that we will understand we are just talking about our common everyday life. How do we improve it better? so that we will all together flourish as people created by one God. The concept doesn't really matter. I don't think the concept matters for God. It doesn't. And it does not really matter also here, in as much as those concepts wouldn't infringe on anybody's right. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that we have common goal to make our communities, to make our environment, to make our society, our country a better place for everybody, where everybody can thrive, can flourish. That is it. And I'm so happy to be here today to thank Father who was there in Kenya for the program, for the training, and our Arshad who came all the way from Nairobi in preparation for this. This is just one of them. More will come. More trainings will come to prepare us so that by the time we get there, we will not be discussing what we are discussing now. We will be talking to people who already understood what we are talking and who are ready to move out to the society to begin to implement, to begin to bring other people on board. That is the essence. So thank you very much. As I said earlier, just to say hi, just to greet us and then disappear again. As he said, we have meeting now. And in fact, the meeting has started and I'm going to look for a place where Father will give me maybe his office and join them briefly. Please help me, Father. Thank you so much once again.
There are principles that guide the sacred worldview. Yeah. So we touched on the sacred. We've touched on the worldview. I won't go back to the sacred. I don't want to go deeper because of time. But now we need to touch on the sacred worldview. Yeah. So on the sacred worldview, is the other marker pen? Okay. There are 4 principles that actually guide it. Yeah. And I just want you to have it with you because it's going to be important. Yeah. So the foundation will always be the sacred itself. Yeah. Number 2, and I just want you to relate it with your own faith. You know, we call, I mean, of course, we worship God. So this is the grounding, ultimate grounding. Number 2, when you worship, what happens? So when you do worship, for example, and I'll take it literally. So for example, when you pray, what happens to you? When you pray, what happens to you? Anyone can, yeah? You feel fulfilled. You feel fulfilled, isn't it? So it's some satisfaction, you know, some, isn't it? Tranquility and all that, isn't it? So the second principle is people. Yeah? So people meaning you cannot talk about sacred worldview without the wholeness of a person. The whole of, you need the person. The person is within, I mean, he is part of the sacred worldview. Because you worship, you pray, you know, we do our prayers, you know, and we feel fulfilled. Yeah? When you have issues, you pray to your Lord, isn't it? So that does something to you, isn't it? So it's called the wholeness of the person, the wholeness. Number 3, Father touched on vertical and horizontal. Very, very important, yeah? You cannot exist by your own. True or false? Our scriptures, our religion tell us how to relate with one another, isn't it? Do good to your neighbor. Do this, isn't it? So it's relational. And that means what our relations form the society. So we cannot talk about sacred worldview without the principle. Another principle is the society. So that's the 3rd principle. Who can guess what the last principle is when you're talking about the sacred worldview? The last principle. Father also touched on it. The last principle. The whole? Huh? The creations. The creation. So the creation is the 4th principle. Why? The earth. You know, the creation. Animals, trees, everything. the universe, cosmos, it's the creation. However you interpret it in your own, in your own tradition, yeah? So we have these 4 guiding principles when you're talking about the sacred worldview. This will be important, and you're going to know why later on, yeah? So I don't know if we have any questions. There's a small exercise we have to do, but because of time, I'll have to move on, yeah? So, slides, yeah, go to the slides. So now, I want to ask a question, yeah? And I want to ask a question. No, next. Okay, there. All right. So I want to ask a question, yeah? So when you see this wealth, political power, technology, economic success, status, personal achievement, what are all they in common? So what is the connector? I mean, what is the connector? What the wealth, political power, technology, economic success, status, personal achievements, flourishing. Thank you. Yeah, flourishing. So this is flourishing. True or false? Isn't it? Next slide, please. So if you have wealth, and just a minute. If you have wealth, you can say, you flourished. Yeah? If you have political power, you're the most powerful politician, perhaps you're the president, we say you have flourished. Yeah? Economic success, you have your company is flourishing. Status, you have the highest status in the community, you're flourishing. Personal achievement, you had a goal of climbing the highest mountain in the world and you achieved it, so you flourished. Isn't it? Isn't it? Yes, it is. So we accept this is flourishing. True or false? True. Okay, good students. Allow me to use that word. I have your hearts here, so I'm not offending anyone, yeah? Okay, now, so you have wealth, but you stole your wealth. So is that flourishing? Why? It is not from your sweat. It is not your effort. So really, huh? You're denied people with the, but you agreed that you have wealth, you're flourished. So it violates the sacred. So now when I have wealth, I have not flourished. So if $1 million was put on the table, and you're okay, please don't mind where this has come from. You are now wealthy. This is yours. You are flourished. Yeah? Yes. If you have political power, and suppose communities have been killed just for the sake of you winning that political position, but you have the highest political office, so you have flourished. You are now, and I'll use a fiction. I'm not talking about Nigeria, by the way. I'm talking about a fictional country that you are the head of state. You are the president, or you are the king, or the prime minister. So have you flourished? No. Why? Unless you impact. So you have. So okay, fine. I can be I can become a prime minister, and I can take a very big donation, and I go say, I apologize for what happened to you. This is, I'll donate to your community. What about what?
The lives that have been lost.
The lives.
The lives that were lost as a result of your inhumane attitude.
Yes.
To become what you are.
Okay.
So those ones that are great, like the Omoni people who lost all those their people and people, and then out of the people that they are coming to award them,
yes,
give them national honors and all of it.
Yes.
So, the Omoni people.
Okay.
Here in Nigeria.
Okay.
It caused a division among
it caused a division. All right. No problem. Okay, so let's take personal achievement. I'm doing an exam, and I cheat in the exam, but I got an A, and I'm so satisfied that I got the A. So have I flourished or not? Have I flourished? No, I'm asking the question. So have I flourished? No, I'm asking that question. That I've done exams. Yes. But I've gotten A. I mean, I don't know the grading system here, but I've gotten the highest points. But that was my goal to get the highest points. So that's individualistic flourishing. So I have flourished. Okay. But I'm fulfilled. I'm satisfied. I've not asked based on your background of people of faith. I've asked a question. I've just asked a question. Okay. Okay. So you'd rather get the E. Okay. All right. You flourish, but in quotes. So it's so realistic. So we can agree these things may be important, but they're not the ultimate. So we can agree on that. Yeah, they may be important, but they're not ultimate, isn't it? Okay, next slide. Now, of course, you've touched on this, that our faith and tradition say something deeper comes first, yeah? And based on what you've just said, the aspect of justice, mercy, truth, love, compassion, human dignity, some of these values, they originate from our understanding of the what? The sacred. Now I want to bring you back. I want to bring you back to this. Yeah? These deeper things. Yeah? We said the sacred is the foundation, yeah? So when you talk about the truth, it needs to start with you, isn't it? So I want to accumulate wealth, but I have to think about the other person. So I have to be, I should not have greed, isn't it? So the person has to be whole. The person should not be damaged. The person should be grounded in the sacred. I don't know if we are starting to get there. The person, the whole person, should be grounded in the sacred. Yeah? And the same person, when the person is grounded in the sacred, then his relational being or interaction with others within the society also is from an angle of the sacred worldview, because it's grounded in the sacred. It's grounded in the values of the sacred. I don't know if it makes sense. Does it make sense? We'll share all the slides. So don't worry much of that. I mean, this one disappear, yeah? So what happens when we forget the sacred? What happens? Again, remember, I keep using the sacred. I've not said God. I've not said the sacred. So now we are at the sacred level now. Yeah. So what happens when you forget the sacred? Yeah? What happens when you forget the sacred? How?
Because the truth is, sacred itself is talking about sanctity, holiness, and the rest of it. And once you don't have that, you are just I don't know, because whatever success you make then is ill gotten.
Yes.
Anything that is ill gotten.
Yeah.
I never refer to as sacred.
Yes.
Just in addition to what Madam has rightly said, you showed us certain so-called parameters and markers that people use to indicate flourishing. But when you took us on a deep dive, you saw that beyond those markers, there has to be something deep.
Deep.
So
Okay.
when a person, or when the sacred is forgotten,
yes,
humans will focus on those external markers.
Exactly.
And they will focus on and the end in themselves and not even the means to the end.
Yes.
And so what you would have would be, I think it was in 1937, Joseph Stalin
Yes.
of Russia. He wanted Russia to move from an agrarian society to a modern society.
Yes.
And he killed about close to 20 to 30 million citizens. And Russia became modernized. But the question was, at what cost?
At what cost?
So when the sacred is forgotten,
yes,
the focus would be on getting those external markers without counting the cost, and it will not be like a pirate victory at the end.
So can we agree? Okay.
We tend to lose our sense of morality.
Our sense of morality. So people become more isolated even though we have technology. True or false? We have technology has advanced, but people become isolated. So that's why you hear, everywhere we have so many people, but I mean, people feel lonely, isn't it? Relationships become transactional.
And it doesn't stand.
It doesn't. Yes. Relationships become transactional. Nature, the earth, becomes a resource. It's not viewed from the lens of the sacred. It becomes a resource. Isn't it? Yeah? Yeah. People or power replaces compassion. So you want to have more power over the other rather than have compassion over with. Yes, we behave like animals. So now I would like to introduce you to a concept that is called the dominant worldview concept. So this, we talked about worldview, the lens through which you view things. And this is, when you hear the word modern, yeah, when you hear it's, it could be technology advancement, medicine, all that, isn't it? That the world has advanced. But then, social media, talking about the rights, SDGs, human rights, that is what modern is. But the reality, next slide please, is that it is materialism, mechanistic thinking, individualism, consumerism, a world where religion is viewed as private. Does it make sense? Materialism, money, wealth, we've touched on that, isn't it? Property, possessions, where now success is being measured by your income, the car, the house that you have, the status in the society that you have, isn't it? And you have so many examples of this. You can work so hard, become the richest person in your neighborhood, but you lose your health, you lose your family, you lose your relationships, your friends, isn't it? Mechanistic thinking, who can try to define what mechanistic thinking is? Control, measure, calculate. We are all about statistics, machines, yeah? So people become workers, consumers. How many voters? Isn't it? How many voters? How many number of votes? What does nature become? Commodity. Yeah? Resources, raw materials. Individualism, of course, looking at yourself, it's the my attitude. Myself, my, it's me. It's just about you. It's not about the other person, yeah? Consumerism. What is that? That you can buy everything. Thinking that you can buy everything. That you can buy happiness. If you purchase more, you become more satisfied and fulfilled. So you think you can buy people, you can buy anything that you want, isn't it? And this is where you get advertisement and billboards, everywhere. Because they're just encouraging to buy. You want this, just buy it, isn't it? And religion viewed as private. I know you may not resonate with this. For those who are in the regional TOT, I know Father and Bakar, examples being given from Europe where religion is treated private. I mean, it's you and your religion, please. You don't bring it to, in the public. Whatever you follow, it's you. We don't care about that. Yeah, so then there's no grounding of what? The sacred. Next, please. So now, again, money becomes, power becomes sacred. Success is sacred. Politics is sacred. The self is sacred. As a result, our values, our relationships, our institutions, and even the treatment of the earth begins to do what? To change. Do you agree or disagree? So that is the dominant worldview. Next slide, please. And this is the result. People become isolated. So you just look at what's in it for me. You know, communities start weakening. Loneliness. Nowadays people say it's difficult to find husbands or someone. I mean, people no longer connect. I'm sure, I don't know, I have an uncle, a grandfather. This is how people used to connect long time back. You'd had to walk and go and visit physically, you know. But I mean, yes, technology has advanced. You can open groups and say hi to everyone. People. But you're lonely. You say I idolize, you know. Now you idolize money. Exactly. But then that's why I'm talking about the dominant worldview. I'm not talking about the shared sacred worldview. Yeah. So when you are looking at everything from the lens of the worldview, you idolize money, you idolize power, you know. Exactly, you know.
But when you say it becomes sacred,
no problem. That is just wording. Yeah.
I would say, if I was the one, I would say money becomes sacred to the person. Because this money becomes sacred because I'm intention.
Yes. No problem. Okay. Yes. No, understood you, and thank you so much. Yeah. So again, these are just a result. Next, please. So you can see the effects. Yeah. Power replaces compassion. You know, it's no longer about serving the people. Yeah, it's about controlling them. Relationships again. You know, you're really not genuine. Truth. Next, please. Truth becomes negotiable. Yeah. So we don't have a truthful, and that's why we have a lot of misinformation, disinformation, because it doesn't touch you really. You know, I mean, it's no longer important. Yeah. Human dignity is diminished. And it's important, human dignity is in these two, the people and the society. Yeah. So human dignity is a grounding for those two. When you're talking about the sacred worldview, conflicts become easier to justify. This is where you hear people talking about human animals. You know, no, you label the person before you actually, yes, or cockroaches. You know, yeah, you justify conflict. It's the same. We have advanced, but why is the conflict increasing day by day? You know, again. So this is a dominant world view. Next, please. Yeah, we touched technology loses its moral compass. We have it. Economic success becomes the highest goal, isn't it? And if I take you back to that image of the tree that I showed you, you know, and you start looking at it from the lens of the dominant worldview. No, it's okay, yeah? From the lens of the dominant, no, you don't have to go back all of it, yeah? But from the lens of the dominant worldview, you'll now be looking, how do I make most of it? I mean, yes, I have seen mangoes. Perhaps I'm going to lie to my community that I saw mangoes because I want it for myself, you know? You don't want to share it with your neighbor. You want to be the most successful and, you know, make business, yeah? Make money out of it. And you don't want it. I mean, that's the dominant worldview. Now, it's important to mention, we are not saying we are disputing, we are neglecting advancement or modern science and all that, because, you know, we acknowledge it. We're not saying it's bad. We're not saying money is bad. We're not saying, you know, political power is bad, you know. But when, as Father put it, when you idolize that, again, I ask the question, when you forget the sacred, yeah? So again, the shared sacred worldview does not argue against wealth, technology, politics, science, and development. All these are important and can contribute to the human flourishing. The question is, what is guiding them? What is the foundation? You know, it's just like a skyscraper. Yesterday, Father was asking me, so what is your background? I told him, okay, in essence, I'm an architect. You know, I'm an architect by profession. So when you build and you look at a building and you look the beautiful windows, yeah, you look at the paintwork, you look at how beautiful it looks, but you forget the foundation of the building is the most important rather than what you see, isn't it? So the foundation should be the sacred. So when they're rooted in the sacred, they become instruments for justice, compassion, peace, and the common good. When they're disconnected from the sacred, they can easily become instruments of greed, oppression, exploitation, and division. I'm being reminded that time is not on our side. Now, I don't know how we are going to do this. Next, please. So we become more prone to reductionism, materialism. I've talked about those. We lose our relationship with the earth. We plunder, we damage it without caring. And we have example in our scriptures. You know, I don't know, perhaps we can get example from the Christian perspective. I know Muslim perspective, even to, if you cut down a tree that was providing shade for people passing by, you're doing the wrong thing. It's grounded in the scripture. And I'm sure we have so many examples as well in the Bible, you know, in the sacred scriptures as well. Losing self-knowledge, we isolate ourselves. We create oppressive and divisive hierarchies of clan. It's my clan now. It's nation. We had a very big conversation, and I think some of you participated around the issue of xenophobia right now. It's hot. Why? You know, it's about us. It's us. Yeah, we're saying, oh no, you know, our people are not getting the jobs. It's the my individualism, isn't it? What are we prioritizing? Oh, money. Oh, you know, resources. Oh, it's not about compassion. Yeah. So the race, you know, the gender, you know. So, and for too many who have come to enjoy worldly success in our time, we have arrived, perhaps for the first time in human history, at a state of overstimulation and boredom. We have plenty with us, you know, but we feel empty within us. I mean, if someone disagrees, I mean, you can give you an opportunity to say different, isn't it? So does it make sense? The dominant worldview. Are there any questions with regard to that? Because now the exercise that we're going to do immediately after this, I'll be guided by the time, is to compare, and we'll take a case. We are going to compare the dominant worldview versus the shared sacred worldview on a case example, because that is the only way to be able to discern the two. Yeah?
Yeah. My name is Dickness Ambassador Mrs. Victoria Bolanle Ihensolo, the immediate past national WOWICAN, that is Women Wing of Christian Association of Nigeria. I was there. She too was heading the Muslims. So we worked together, and I want to say that it's nice to be here. And I know that talking about the sacred place, it will give us a more way of respecting one another's religion, because we want to move closer to be one. Like what the camp president told us, you know, as he was talking, I was just viewing my village, that in my village there was nothing like separation before. Both Christian, Muslim, we did things together, we love one another. But now, you know, things are changing. But we pray that God Almighty, as we are coming together, we will have more knowledge, more understanding of the topic, and we will be able to relate it to our followers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma.
Yeah, my name is Samuel, and I'm representing the prestigious and esteemed members of Group 1. Yes, thank you. So after, yeah, it's an honor, considering the weight of what we're discussing and its implications for the future. That said, Group 1 had the noble task of looking at this scenario, and as we can see, we noticed, okay, let me go straight to the question. The question is in two parts. The first part is the response of someone looking at it from a dominant worldview lens. And one thing we agreed as a group is the fact that a person looking at it from a dominant worldview lens would focus on various benefits that the community seems to be having by virtue of the presence of the factory. One of which we noticed is that once you have factories, and it's stated specifically that youths are working in that factory, it means that the rate of youth unemployment has been drastically reduced. It is safe to assume that. We also notice that the community will be making money. There's an economic utility by virtue of the presence of this factory. We also notice that there's infrastructural development, because we all know that alongside factories, you have various social amenities. Most factories will want access roads, they want electricity. I mean, in Nigeria, you know, whether it is NEPA or it is generator, it's still a form of electricity that the community will benefit from. And then we notice that there's a domino effect. Because youths are now employed, there would be a reduction in the rate of crime. And that's because it's safe to assume that when youths are engaged in productive work, they have less time for social vices. However, so a person that's looking at this thing from a dominant worldview lens will look at it through the angle of consumerism, because there will be available markets in the place. We look at it from economic benefits and all. However, a person that is looking at this from a sacred worldview lens, paying attention to the sacred itself, to the people, to the society, and other markers, would notice the following things, and the environment. We'll notice this, that the earth has become a mere resource. And that is why you see that these factories have been responsible for much of pollution. And we agree that pollution is hydra-headed. There's pollution to the water resource, there's pollution to the environment. And that also has its own domino effect. For instance, when there's pollution, you would notice that in the rivers, fishes will be dying. What that means is that there would be malnutrition within the same community. We also notice that there will be a high rate of child mortality. Why? Because we do not judge things by just their existence. We judge by the quality of life. Let me just segue a bit. In law, we talk about the right to life. But we say beyond the right to life, how about the right to a quality of life? And we notice that in this community, because of this so-called simple statement of pollution, there is a domino effect on the quality of life of the people there. We also notice that this will lead to food insecurity. Because when the environment is polluted or affected, it also affects food security within that region, and will have an effect on the average life expectancy. Now, okay, thank you. They've also noticed one very important point that was not there, but it's embedded. You notice that when the environment is polluted, farmers are affected. And when farmers cannot farm, what do they naturally do? They migrate to places. Now, migration on itself, now it's known that most farmers are the breadwinners of their family. When they migrate, there's a domino effect on the family unit. So it also affects social cohesion within that same community. Now, looking at it from these two lenses, our group took it a step further, because we said, what is the knot that will tie the dominant worldview lens and the sacred worldview lens? We agreed as a group that this society, even though it is flourishing economically, because it is not paying attention to the people, to the society, and to the resource, something has to be done. And what can be done? We agreed that it must not be an either-or situation. We believe that this community can flourish economically, but attention should now be paid to the resource, the people, and the society. And how can this be done? And this is where we would rest our oars. The first thing is that the issue of waste management should be given attention to. It is good that they have a factory. It is good that the youth are employed. But as long as this pollution persists, that community would not really flourish. So what should be done? One of the suggestions was that the waste can be treated. Waste can be refined and recycled. There are certain types of waste that can be recycled. So that is one area we looked at it. And then the final thing, which for us, what our scorecard is, that the factory itself, which is making profits, should convert part of its proceeds for corporate social responsibility initiatives, such as medicals, as a result of some of the effects of their work, and also empowering farmers. Because if farmers cannot farm, there are certain initiatives you can bring up as a company so that this community will be said to flourish. I would like to end with the words of Mother Teresa of Calcutta. She said something. She said, we all may not be able to do great things, but we may be able to do little things with great love. If this company embeds that philosophy, we believe that this community will flourish. On behalf of Group 1, we say thank you. Thank you.
The sacred worldview. These are the two areas we are looking at in order to the case study of this problem facing the community. And we decided to say that when we be looking at the factory or company that is giving economic growth, that is under the dominant worldview, the factory that is giving the economic growth, the youths are getting job. You know, not only youth. When you say youth are getting job, even the chiefs, they are being given monthly payments because the factory that is working there normally take care of the chiefs in those areas. When they take care of the youths by employing them, giving them employment, they also take care of the elderly ones so that they will not be having problem from any of them. And also, apart from providing the employment matter, they support the local government, they support the society as a whole in that area because they know what they are deriving. You know, their water is being polluted, the fishes are dying, they know they don't have land, they don't have water to drink, they have destroyed everything. What they will do is that they will try to make sure the dominant worldview, we try to make sure that at least they satisfy people in that area. And mostly the people that can talk, they are the youth and the chiefs. So they take care of them and they also give security because the company is developing the area and the area. Then they will look at it and say the killing of the fishes are not important. That's what it becomes secondary to them because they are getting money. The youth will look at it that we are getting money from this company. If we drive them away, what will happen to us? The chiefs that are getting money too, others that are benefiting from this factory, we look at it as if, okay, this problem we are having is secondary. So they will not, you know, be putting their attention to this problem. And they will continue to manage the pollution, which is dangerous to their health, but they will manage it. So the primary thing will be kept back. And then we decided, Group 2 decided to look at the sacred worldview. And the sacred worldview, we see nature as a gift from God or the Creator because the land, the water, the fishes is being given by God. And what happened? The river is sacred because it sustains life, which must be conserved for human being, for human well-being, and animals, plants, and also for all living things. So water is life. You know, it's always said, if one is not getting good water, then how will you get life? If one is not getting a farm or a land to farm, how will you be able to get things that your family will eat? So the sacred world is looking at it, worldview is looking at it that it is good for the people to get good water, to get land, and to have fishes that they can, you know, that can give them good health. So we are looking at the controlling the pollution of the river is a moral and spiritual responsibility of all. That means all must come together to control the whatever they have. They should guide it so that they will not be looking at the benefit from the, you know, dominant world and be using it against themselves. Then how will they develop? How will their earth be good? How will the land, how will they get foodstuff, things to eat, yams, all other, you know, products that they're supposed to get from the farm. So we need to protect human health, preserving creation, and respecting the dignity of all life. Human, animals, and plants, factories should adopt cleaner production method and be held accountable. Everybody that has hand to do this thing must be held accountable. We must all come together and work as one that knows that this thing we need to preserve it. This thing we don't have to allow it to destroy because of our selfish interest. And so we concluded by saying community members, religious leaders, governments, and businesses should work together to restore the river while creating sustainable livelihood by monitoring and ensuring compliances. So that is our conclusion. That means everybody, including governments, should come together, businesses, factories, the youth that have been collecting money, that have been getting money here and there, they should all come together and put hands together and make sure that they develop their area by getting good water to drink and making sure that farm products is there for them, and also fishes to give them good health. So we look at all these things. That is our submission for group 2. Thank you.
So before we start, when we say the dominant worldview lens, what do we really mean? So we're looking at the economic view of it, the industrial side, the development, the profit making, and their human conveniences. When you talk about the dominant view, worldview of it. Why when you talk about the sacred part of it, you're talking about the just part, the holy part, which is the moral part, thank you very much, ma, of the worldview of this whole thing. So looking at those questions now, some of the points we picked out in our group as group 3 as the dominant worldview lens are mineral resources are being sacred, that is, are being idolized. When you said the mineral resources, now we look at it, the fishes and everything, the dominant part, now they just want to like, this particular region has mineral resources, the water, the everything they want to, make use of it to generate income for themselves or for the government. So we also look at it that power is being sacred, which is, we're talking about the idolizing of it. They just want to be in power. They want dominating. It is, they are, like we said, we use this case study of the Niger Delta. When you go there now through the whole fuel mining and all that, those from the Nigers are more empowered. So when it comes to that region, because of the money aspect and the economic value they tend to get, not minding the lives of those within that environment. So we look at the greed, which is normal thing. Once money is involved, power is involved, the next thing is greed. They just want to colonize everything for themselves. Now look at the insecurity is sacred. At this point, the dominant worldview lens, they don't care about the security of the human beings. They just care about what they tend to get from the case study we just saw now. Now look about wealth creation, which is also, like I said, it's being sacred because they're just about wealth, money for themselves, for the government and their family members. So, but when we look at it from the sacred worldview lens, we talked about the morals, the justice, the love, the unity of human beings and the creation of God's images and animals. You see that the common good and common welfare of the human beings are what? Abused. You understand? So when we're looking at it, in as much as we know that the dominant people will say, it's giving us money, it's generating funds, but the sacred part, which is the just part, we said that these things are actually not healthy to the human beings around that particular area. Now, we said human beings are being impoverished, that is hunger, health, and hazard to the human health. At this particular point, because the water will be stagnant, very dirty, contaminated, we all agree. So we know when there are no other means of farming as well, other means of employment, which is the farmers. Imagine a farmer or a transport company that does riverine movements of boats and all that. Now, at this point, now their source of employment are also being tampered with. So we'll talk of which lead up to our number 3, we said source of livelihood is being taken away. If you go to like we said, our Niger Delta area now, some of the livelihood things they do there is those their movements of transportation movements by waters. So these are being restricted somehow, because if you look at it deeply, when the water is not safe and you go into it, by the time you get drowned, you cannot even come out from that water alive because of the hazard of the water. So we said hunger is being introduced, obviously, because they are limited to some basic, how will I call it, occupations around there because of the bad waters and everything that's going now. Despairs, loss of hopes in government and the ecosystem. We all know the ecosystem, and when you don't believe in it, it also leads to that. So now we're going to be concluding our little group by saying that the dominant view, like I said, prioritize the economic growth and the development, seeking a practical balance between industries, between industries and environmental concerns. Why, when you talk about the sacred priorities, we talk about the sanity of life, the care of creations, justice, and sustainable development, believing that true flourishing is achieved when people, nature, and the ecosystem coexist in harmony together. So thank you very much. Oh, sorry. Okay. No objections. Okay, sir. Okay, let me continue. So, solutions. It's in our group now.
Okay. Dialogue of social engagement. A dialogue of social engagement is when Christians and Muslims come together to fight injustice, to fight environmental pollution, to tell the government that we need to do the right thing. That is the essence of NIREC.
Thank you very much, sir. That's my group.
Thank Allah for guiding us. We thank Allah for patience and strength and wisdom. And we thank Allah for our facilitator who has given us without keeping us, he has kept us alert. He has kept us concentrating and focusing. We pray that this enthusiasm will continue to grow and was no benefit of his life. We pray in the name of Allah.
Gracious God, the eternal rock of ages, our Lord and our God, we thank you, we honor you, we adore you for bringing all of us together safely, even the people that were brought from another country. Father Lord, accept our thanks and praises in Jesus' name. Lord, we pray that everything we shall do will come from you tomorrow. At the end, let us have full cause to glorify your holy name. In Jesus Christ's name, we have prayed.
Yeah.